Welcome to the Northern Myths Podcast. This is episode 117, she says with a question mark.
That's the number I wrote down.
Excellent. We are two sisters, friends, co-nerds, knitting, spinning, crafting, and generally making fun of each other in the Canadian prairies. If you are a new watcher, listener, hi, welcome. Come on in, join the conversation, grab a cup of tea. We don't do anything linearly. We pretend to. It doesn't happen.
We start out with the best of intentions.
It's even worse tonight because Diana can't just suddenly kick me or poke me to keep me in place. We're in two separate locations today in Winnipeg, mostly because if you don't know, if you're an old viewer, you'll be aware I have some anxiety issues, and I had a pretty bad attack on Monday when we were going to record. So poor Diana, I felt didn't need to put on her pants to come visit me on an extra day. So we're having a PJ recording evening in our own homes.
It's great because I had to wash the pants that I was wearing, so the fact that I get to wear pajama pants right now is perfect because we're doing laundry right now.
Excellent. Well, today's the first day since Monday I felt like a real human being, so I have done all the things, including spill on 2 shirts. So this is shirt number 3 for the day.
That's okay.
I'm adulting well, people. Adulting well.
I have spilled so much food on my shirts in the last few days. I don't even know how I managed it. I spilled like sweet and sour meatball sauce on me yesterday on my white shirt.
See, now, none of my shirts were white, because if the shirts were white or I was wearing my white cardigans, I would have been fine. Because, like plot armor, the white shirt would have saved me. Don't ask me how it works for me, but that's how that works for me. I wasn't. I was wearing colored shirts. I was wearing my one and only printed t-shirt with saying on it.
Oh my gosh. You owed one of those?
I know. Yeah, Red bought me one.
Oh. Must have a really good saying then.
This is first I drink coffee and then I do all the things.
Okay, yeah, it's very you.
So she's like, no, that has to come home with us. I'm like, okay. So I'm not sure if I'll ever wear it out in public, but I will wear it around the house. Though right now it's currently soaking because I spilled ketchup on it earlier today.
I'm hoping the sweet and sour sauce comes out of my white shirt.
Club soda.
It's already gone through the laundry, so we'll just have to see.
Oh boy. All right, good luck with that.
Yeah. It wasn't that bad, and I took some Tide to it at work, so it's probably okay.
That's fair. Do you want to let everybody know what we're going to try to cover this week?
Yeah, this is where we state our best intentions and then proceed to not follow them, really.
Yep.
We got some What's in Our Cup, Woolly Workings, Fiber Flubs, So Little Time, Yarn on the Go, Wool Gathering, Kniterature, and Events.
Bingo, bingo, bongo! I'm on my phone. This is weird. It's my new phone. Well, it's not new. I got it just before I went to, Saskatoon, so it's like 2 months old now, but it feels new to me.
It's still fairly new.
It's still my new shiny pretty, which is great because my mom's getting the exact same phone as we speak. Oh, God.
All the tech support calls.
Probably that's fine. She likes it, which is the important part, so that's sort of the idea for that. Okay, well, what's in your cup? Because my cup is legit green tea. That's what you wrote down.
It is.
In my deep blue with snowflakes. Yeah, it's got snowflakes and little star patterns on it. Mug I got for myself because I was going to be spending Christmas alone. I got a mug that said joy inside.
I mean, whatever you put inside a cup like that has to be pretty joyful.
It does. It's actually green tea where the only English on the package is green tea. So I don't actually know where it's from. It's imported green tea. That's and I'm guessing on imported because that's not in English, but I'm assuming that's what that little word says in the bottom corner. So it's a really good green tea. I recognize it from the color and the package, but I have no idea after that, guys.
Fair enough.
Not a hot clue. Why is my light on at the bottom of the stairs? Oh, I probably left it on.
Hence it's legit green tea because it has very little English on it.
Yeah, the absolute bare minimum.
I also have some green tea.
It has English ingredients on the back. It tells me there's green tea in it.
No, that's like the only ingredient that there should be.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
I have Happy Valley Rose Green Tea, so it's green tea with some rose petals in it.
That stuff.
It's lovely and springy, summery. Well, I guess roses bloom in summer, so it's lovely summery tea.
It's a floral tea.
It is.
It is a
And
floral tea.
it was brought back from a friend went to India and she brought us back tea. So it's I
Ah,
mean like
tea sounds so
all the tea that we
exotic and
get is
fancy.
all the tea that you get is from like India or China or like somewhere where tea actually grows. But like this is like extra fancy because it was brought back from the no, it's from the exact same place. It just sounds fancier to say.
Yeah, I went to my local superstore.
And it's probably from the same place.
Uh, yours just has a better story than
Mine came
mine.
in the little tourist pack of tea from Darjeeling in India, so it's like
Nope. Mine's
Darjeeling
a
tea from Darjeeling, but that's why they call
mine's
it
a
Darjeeling tea is because it's from Darjeeling.
a
So
mofo a mofo 500-gram bag.
that's a massive bag of tea.
I love me this brand of green tea. What I'm on the hunt for is a good matcha.
I was about to say
And matcha varies.
I also almost made matcha tonight, but I decided I didn't need that much caffeine because I've got a really
I
nice vanilla
really
matcha from. My mom got it for me last time she was in Selkirk from 36 Tea. That's that tea store.
might have to ask your mom the next time she's in Selkirk if she'll
Yeah,
pick me up some vanilla matcha and then tell me how much I owe her.
fair enough. Guess I have to link to 36 Tea now. It's the place
Yes,
where
you
the
do.
Canadian breakfast comes from.
I know. I also well. Here we go. Wait a minute. You have a car. Can we road trip to 36T?
Yes, we can go on a tea road trip.
We need to do a tea road trip. Let's take the boys.
I'm sure they'll be delighted.
Let's go for a road trip. Let's go eat at that restaurant and go to 36T.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Because I ate
that
there
one.
fine.
Yeah, and I can't remember what that one's called. That one in Lockport,
I
the
don't.
diner,
Yes.
the retro
Yeah.
diner in
Let's.
Lockport.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah, that sounds like a
There we
great
go.
afternoon. Okay,
That
let's go.
sounds like a lovely summer day off.
Yeah, it does.
Until your husband complains because I'm sitting in the front seat.
Well, you know what? He can drive.
He can if he wants to, but we don't want me being sick in the back seat. So best to
This is
just stick me
true.
in the front.
Very
And
true.
nobody wants that. I don't want that. I
I'd
know I
rather not
anger
have that
people.
in my car, thanks.
Nobody wants that in their car. I don't want to have to do that to anybody in their car, but I know what I am like in the back seat of the car because I sometimes have to do the back seat for short distances. And my mom's like, "You don't look good. You're sitting in the front from now on." And I feel bad. My mother has to sit in the back seat because that is how bad it is for me.
Oof. I imagine it's similar to how I am on the bus. Like, I can
Uh-huh.
stand at the front of the bus and I can sit anywhere on the bus. I
Mm-hmm.
cannot stand at the back of the bus. I just get so bleh.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's got that one spot, and for me it's the back seats of cars and in vans and stuff. And I can do less than 15-minute trips in cars and cities and back seats, but it's it's not fun. And it's not something I choose to do unless I absolutely have to.
Fair.
Yeah.
On to
Boy, am I
happier
high
topics.
maintenance. I have anxiety attacks. I'm going blind. I can't ride in the back seat of cars. I am such a prima donna. Oh my god, I'm high maintenance. So I sit here drinking my super cheap superstore green tea.
Your words, not mine.
Yeah, I understand my faults and I'm comfortable with them. It's fine.
So,
Shall we talk some knitting?
yeah, let's actually talk some knitting. That's probably what people came here for.
Nah, they come here for the life updates. What are you talking about? Do you want to start with your one object or shall I nosedive into the things?
Well, you had some finished things or something, didn't you?
I have a finished object, which will be my second finished object for the craft along we are currently running, which is the spring garment craft along, in conjunction with Laura from the corner of at Knit and Tea. Did I do that right?
I think so.
Leaning back and making noises. I made a little summer cotton crochet shrug. It's a cocoon cardigan shrug, so it's really short. It's like a bolero. Can't speak the English. And what I did, because I did it in the Tiger Lily from Kramer Yarns that I was sent to review, the cotton fine stuff, which, by the way, is a freaking dream to crochet. So I like the Kramer Yarns for knitting, and I like them for crochet work, which is
Nice.
great. Yeah. So I paired it up with some of my leftover weighted denim for the little sleeve trims
That looks so
and the
good.
little shawl collar. And for fun, I pulled out of my closet one of my gray slip dresses
That
because
looks
it's
so
literally
good.
just a gray dress. And the orange and the denim blue blend so well.
That looks really amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
super jealous right now that
Oh,
you
oh,
finish
so good.
things ever and they look really good. I
So
finish
I'll
things
take it off its
sometimes.
fancy dress form. So it wasn't too bad because it was literally, there's no pattern. I literally crocheted a square till it went around my shoulders in width so that it would go on my shoulders in width. And what I'll do is I'll just put it on now that I'm done trying to stick it in my. Let's take off one shrug and put on another. Whoop, stripping.
Resisting inappropriate comments.
Well, yeah, because we have a fairly good G rating. Should probably try to keep that. I did hold the cotton fine double because it's a fine fingering weight yarn. So like it's almost lace weight in its width and like in its weight qualities. So I held it double on a 4.5 millimeter hook, and I'm actually going to push buttons and I might adjust the screen. Sorry to everybody who's watching. I'm making things move.
Ah.
So more of my shrugs in profile, so you can see it. It's a little short cap sleeve. I didn't like the super cap sleeve. It needs a little bit of extra length for me. No ends have been woven in traditional Jocelyn fashion.
Of course.
Not an end. I haven't blocked it yet. I finished it and then went, oh my god, I'm so far behind on other things. Get going. And it does a little collar roll, but it ends just below the girls and drapes about 2/3 of the way down my back. So it is great. And because it's all in cotton, a summer or spring garment for me. So
That's awesome. You gonna make a
I'm
project
very
page for
excited with
that?
that.
She
Sure.
asks, hopefully.
She lies through her teeth in reply.
She asks, hopefully, knowing the response, whatever the response is, will be a lie.
Listen, I finally figured out why I couldn't reply to things. Oh no, I left the sound on my phone. Oopsies. Let's just push buttons. There we go. Now we won't have sound anymore. Sorry. Been helping a girlfriend earlier today and I completely forgot to turn that off. Oopsie daisies.
That's alright, I don't think anything came through on my end.
Oh, good. So no, it's really good. It also looks really nice with my tank tops and capris and stuff. So I'm excited to wear it out and do things.
Excellent.
Project page, sure. Pictures, guys, I do most of my stuff by myself, so I don't know who cut in and out. One of us did.
Oh, could be either. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
So, theory, project page is easy. The pictures are the hard part for me. But it is. It's a finished object. It's done. I just have to write my reviews for the yarns now. Spoiler alert, I like them.
Such spoilers. I think we knew that already.
Yeah. All right. Everything else I have are works in progress, but I still have 3 projects.
Alright, do you want to do one more and I'll stick mine in the middle? Because I
Sure.
have one in typical Diana fashion.
Sure. Let's talk about the mallow cowl for the marshmallow cowl that I'm supposed to have been working on since May.
Uh-huh.
I got distracted with the passing of my grandmother and never picked it up. I'm finally almost done my fronts. So it's a cardigan done in pieces. It's the mallow cardigan. It's a pattern from Barocco Yarns. It's a fairly plain front cardigan, but the back has this beautiful lacework panel in it. So I got 19, 20 inches on the front here, and I needed to do 18 inches to my armhole. It's a free pattern. And then I needed to do another 8 inches of stockinette, which I'm going to try to do tonight and watch Critical Role. So it's at the point where it's kind of ridiculously long, since we're 2/3 of the way up my body at this point now. we're past the upper arms. So theoretically I should be done my front panels tonight, and then I can start my back panel. Will I have it done by the end of the month? I don't know. Let's check in on the 30th and see how I'm doing. For the record, it's what, the 20th today?
19th.
19th today? Today is Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, heavens. Thank heavens. Okay. Yeah, because Thursday's tomorrow, and then we have knit night on the 21st. I'm already double booked all weekend. I'm not a doer of things. All right, that leaves me two things, and one's a fiber fob. Shall you go, my dear?
Sure. I have here in this obnoxiously yellow bag with cute green robots on it.
Everybody likes that bag.
I really enjoyed this bag. Chris brought it back from RoboCup in Brazil.
And you proceeded to steal it?
No, he brought it back for me. There was a
Oh,
shirt
nice.
as well that is also bright yellow, and honestly, actually, it doesn't look all that great with my skin tone. I can't do bright yellow, but it's such a cheerful shirt, and I'm sad. But I love the
don't think
bag.
yellow's your color.
Yellow is so not my color.
Okay.
Anyway, in this bag is the find your fade. Wow, the pattern name just completely dropped right out of
Wow.
my head. Ooh, that was bad. This is the Find Your Fade that I started in June 2017.
Oh, jeez.
Plus side to never making project pages, when you dig out a work in progress and you have no idea how old it is, you can guess and feel okay about it. When you have a
Yep.
project page that you made when you started it, and so you know the exact date that you started it, and then you dig it out later and you're like, oh, I haven't touched this in 2 years. No wonder it's not getting done.
They don't magically complete themselves.
Well, they really should.
Sure. That's not how this craft works, dear.
I know, but I can dream.
Sure.
So I am supposed to be fading into my fourth color, but I doubled up on this gorgeous blue color because it was just so gorgeous. I wanted to use lots of it.
Fair.
So I'm on finishing up section 7. It's not a free pattern, so I won't give out the secret sauce, but section 7 for the millions of people that have knit this. And I'm doing it out of travel yarn. So this super brightly colored, looks really orangey in this light, but it's somewhat more rainbow colored in person. Yarn is from my first trip to San Francisco. I got rainbow colored yarn, from a local dyer. I thought that was pretty cool. And then this yarn, which has a very slight sparkle that absolutely does not show up on camera.
No, it really doesn't.
This dark and darker blue color is from, I don't remember what the yarn shop's name was, but it was in London. I was walking around by myself for some reason, which doesn't sound like the best idea. And I think I was lost. I think I came out of the wrong train station. I was trying to figure out where I was, or at least find somewhere with internet so I could pull out my phone and check. And I found this yarn store. And so I bought some yarn. I remember the colorway name. It was Ziggy Stardust. Can I remember what the shop name was? No, but I know I have the card somewhere, which is not here. And so now I have finished with Ziggy Stardust, and I'm fading into a skein that I bought locally at Woolsey Wool. It's in the Manos del Uruguay Alegria base. Alegria. Yeah. I think this one was called Peacock. It doesn't show up.
You gotta keep track of your own ball bands, ma'am. I can't keep track of mine.
This one's so similar. I'm pretty sure this one's called Peacock because it was the blue one that had little bits of purple in it, which sort of just barely show up on camera. So I've just finished melting into that. As you can see, it's extremely similar, and you really can't see the melt at all, so this will be glorious.
Nope.
This one does not have a sparkle in it. And with my cute little sheepy stitch marker, you can see that I made a few inches of progress, which is, a reasonable Diana amount of progress, which is like no progress at all compared to Jocelyn, but we can't all have Jocelyn levels of knitting productivity.
Listen, I'm no Sarah.
I wish.
I can't finish a sweater in a week. Like
that's madness.
I'm not that fast.
Like how?
Yes. She's also a mom of small children.
I don't understand.
Yeah, the woman's got talent.
Where does she produce these extra hours in the day?
I don't know, but her older sister Jamie, I think it's the closest to me in age. I think Jamie's like a year younger than me or something. or I turn older first anyway, or no, Jim is a year older than me, and we match between March and April before our birthdays. But I think she's got 4 children, and Jamie outknits me most weeks. And I'm like, feeling like I don't use my time effectively enough.
It's
Because
crazy.
I am only mom to 1 cat. 1 cat.
Man, all I do is this podcast and a 9-to-5 job. Like you'd think I could find more time in a day, and yet somehow I don't.
I don't know where your time goes. I have enough trouble keeping track of my own.
I think it goes into like laundry and Netflix. But that's knitting
I'm
time,
going to
so
go with Netflix, not so
yeah, but
much
Netflix
laundry.
is knitting time. So I don't
Well, how
know.
often do you actually knit while you're watching Netflix?
Probably not as often as I'd like to think.
Okay, that's fair. As long as you're honest about it.
I
I'm
try
excited
to
you're
be.
making some progress on that. It'd be nice to have it finished.
It would. I would love to wear it. So I'm going to continue working on it while we record.
Sure, works for me. I suppose that means I'm up then.
It does.
Well, I'm going to leave the problematic knit for the end, because nobody likes to talk about the child that's in trouble. So let's talk about another fun one. In my Aran Lane bag, because it folds down really nicely, it makes a really good travel bucket for my yarn to sit in. I have a skein of Sea Anemone Wall 2.
Whew. So bright.
From Cloud9 Fiberworks. I was talking with Miss Darielle while we were out at the Blue Hills Fiber Festival, and she really liked the Endless Summer Adventures shawl, which everybody may remember if you watched from a couple podcasts ago when I called it the shawl with no name.
I think that was even just last week.
Yeah, that was last week. It didn't have a name. It's got a name now, guys. Everything is in slow-mo over here. I am redoing the shawl again in the very bright colors because I think, and I was correct in my thinking, that it showcases heavily variegated yarns really freaking well.
That looks so good.
It's so good. It's still on the 6mm, even though it's a fingering weight gauge, because it's just so light and drapey, which is what I really wanted. But I think when I send it out to test knit, I'm going to let people know if they're doing the fingering weight to go down to a 5mm, because I am such a freaking tight knitter that this is probably the gauge people will get on a 5mm. So it's going to need some blocking when it's finished, because all of them do, to open up that lace and stuff, the eyelet lace I've got going on. But this color is knitting up amazingly well.
Okay. I'm like,
is it going to be one skein? I don't know.
I might.
Is it going to be one skein? Maybe. I might work in the second skein, which is Sea Anemone Wall number 1.
Looks very similar.
Into it. It's quite similar. So I might fade into this one if I decide I want it to make a big fingering shawl, which I did with my, what's my purple one? I call it my Really Seriously Annoyed Grapes shawl. But yes. It actually has a project, the pattern has a different name.
Oh, Stormy Skies.
There we go, thank you. So that's right in that sort of realm of nice, big, summery, light knits, which is what I was looking for. So super stoked with how that's going out. Both of these variegated color patterns look amazing next to all of the white cardigans I own that I wear all summer long.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and my light colored summer dresses and stuff. So super stoked with it. Then the Sea Anemone Wall one will look really good against my gray shift dress.
Yes, it will.
Look at that. So I am working on that. I actually took that to for my Yarn on the Go this week, because it's in my case a very memorized pattern, because it's now my second time making it. I actually have the first version here. My DK weight version that I did in Kramer Yarns.
Muffle.
Muffle. My DK weight version I did in Kramer Yarns with the giant tassels.
I do love the giant tassels. Are you going to do the giant tassels with the Sea Anemone Wall ones?
I made smaller tassels, or I've started smaller tassels, because it's a much looser weave. So I've got the start of baby tassels for it.
I love it.
So I got to finish tassel making. It's going to be such a cheerful summer shawl. I'm so happy.
You know what it'll
look really great with?
Oh, sorry, yeah?
My baby blue Empire sundress, like my baby doll sundress,
Yeah?
that can't be me. That's definitely you going to sound on my end. That's fine. Uh, and then my white vest with that shawl over top.
Mm.
That'll look really good. I'll be so hippie in my flip flops. It'll
Yeah.
be great. Yeah. All right. Which I think for us wraps everything up except for my fiber flub.
Yeah, so what's your fiber flub?
So the Northern Radiance, which is a shawl I've been working on. I wanted to send out the pattern, and I said I was going to send out the pattern, and I wanted to get into the lace before I sent it, so make sure all my math is right, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you want your math to be right before you send it out to people.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what's left of color 1, which is where I should be when I'm at the point where I'm adding my lace,
Okay.
which means my math is correct. This is a good sign.
Okay. I'm sensing
To give you
somewhere
a
the math
size
is not
comparison,
correct.
oh no, the math is fine. Here's my other color. So I'm using 2 colors from Pima in Pima Cotton from Creek Garden Crafts. One's in hibiscus, which is my solid color, and then my speckled is hibiscus flowers.
Okay.
So they blend well together. So I've got them both attached so I can carry the yarn up the side. 4 fewer ends to weave in. And you're thinking, Jocelyn, that looks great. I mean, you're not wrong. I have something like 200 and some odd stitches on the needles.
Ah, so many stitches.
So it's a crescent shaped shawl. So like it just gets bigger as it goes, which is totally fine. Or it'll block. Yeah, I think it blocks out crescent shaped. I super wasn't paying attention when I did it the first time, so I can't remember. This is what happens with my brain. But halfway through this right side row,
Uh-huh.
which I'm supposed to be knitting on,
Mm-hmm.
because I do the eyelet lace backwards, I started yarning over and knitting 2 together.
Oh no.
So I have to tink back 1 stitch at a time.
Oh no.
And I don't know if I started really early on or if I started later. So it's in a timeout because I'm really mad at it right now. So
Oh,
that's a thing. But I did add a stitch progress keeper finally. So you can see how much progress I made in a week.
nice.
That is very easily what? 4 or 5 inches?
That puts. Sorry, I got a stitch marker in my mouth right now. I'm doing the.
Why do you have a stitch marker in your mouth?
I was doing the center decrease, which I regularly blow past if I don't have a stitch marker to mark the center of my shawl.
That's fair. I did the same thing when I made that shawl. Yeah, I've easily done like 4 inches of it because that lacework stretches really nicely. So I am using the colored skein in the lacework section, and I am almost finished my pattern repeats. And this will be my 4th time through the shawl. So as much as I love how the pattern looks, oh my god,
You're so done.
I will be very happy. Very happy to move on to a different stitch pattern.
Feel ya.
I am a person who generally doesn't do anything twice. Never mind 4 times. Crazy joke. But right now, I'm so angry at it, it literally lives wedged under the computer. And I'm
Ooh,
going to just
that's a
work on it
serious
in different
timeout.
pieces because I am really mad at it right now. So,
Oof.
but the math is right. And that was the important part to register. The math is correct.
This
That's
is good.
important, guys. Yeah. So I'm
I
excited.
have a
The other
super.
shawl is much more free flowing.
As I approach this point in the row, I have a super minor fiber kind of a flub.
Kind of flub?
My fiber literally flubbed. I was knitting along as I was joining this. You know what? These colors are so similar. I honestly don't remember which ball it was, but I have this awkward couple of ends in the middle of my row because the yarn literally
Ooh,
broke. Like I
I
don't know
hate it
what
when that
happened,
happens.
but it was only like 2 plies thick at that point instead of whatever it is
3?
normally. I don't know. It was
I have no idea.
literally a thread and the thread broke.
Yeah, that'll happen.
So I have this annoying
You
join in
have
the middle.
extra wins. Extra ends.
Extra ends. That's
So
okay.
right, it's going to happen to me too. But that's it for things that I'm currently working on or finishing. So I'm going to challenge myself to see how far along I can get in this cardigan. I have a lot of serious knitting time coming up. I've got a virtual birthday party on the Saturday. I've got Knit Club on the Friday. I'm hosting. Oh, I'm thinking about making beignets for dessert.
Yes. Yes.
Please? Got
Yes.
it. Okay. Making some New Orleans style donuts. Check.
Yep. On board.
got it. And then Sunday I don't have anything planned, so I can just listen and knit, which is good because, oh my God, you guys, crazy talk. What's next?
Sewing.
next?
You had a little bit of sewing.
Sewing. I have successfully managed to figure out what I did wrong with my sewing machine.
Okay, I'm curious.
Always me, you guys. It's always me. When I was fixing and doing my spring cleaning, so getting in there and cleaning out all the gears and stuff to make sure we don't get a lot of thread fluff and gunk in there, which is something you do when you own a sewing machine. I
Gunk.
had to put my I want to call it my lower bobbin.
Okay, yeah, the part that goes underneath the sewing bed. Is
Yeah,
that the right word?
Yes, I've always called it my under bobbin. I don't know if that's actually what it's called or not. That's just after 20 plus years, guys. I'm not changing my terminology. It's not going to happen. I am stuck in my ways. I understand this. I put it in backwards.
Oh,
It took me forever to figure out what I'd done wrong. Because you always think, no, I did it right. I've been cleaning sewing machines and maintaining them on my own. Minor repairs. They go in once a year for a big fix, big check every year, and I pay someone to do that. To check things like electrical cord connections and stuff, right? Like stuff I don't know how to do. But I do the small, like every other month cleaning you should do totally on my own. So I'm like, no, like I've been doing it for years. I definitely didn't do that. No, I did it wrong. So much
ooh,
hubris going on right here. It's not even funny. And of course,
ooh.
when I get mad at stuff, I leave it alone until I'm not mad anymore. Because working on stuff while you're angry doesn't help any. It
No.
just makes everything worse. So my Appalachian Mountain-sized pile of mending grew into Mount Everest because I am the mender in the house. So I had to bring that pile of mending down to a reasonable, manageable level again because we've rotated all the spring stuff for summer stuff. So all of the spring stuff's come down that needs to be fixed, and all the summer stuff that needs to be, altered or fixed has also come out. So I'm almost at a decent mountain size range where I can actually do something else, which is good because I have to sew a bag this week for a prize.
Mm-hmm.
Though I probably could get away with sewing it next week because reasons, which I'll explain when we get to events.
All right.
But yeah, so theoretically, I actually have some honest to goodness proper sewing next week. Not just, oh, there's a hole in these pants. I should fix the hole. Oh, there's a hole in the armpit. I should fix the hole. Oh, I'm not fixing that hole. We're going to cut that fabric up into fabric pieces.
This hole is
Not
too
boring.
big.
Big. Yeah, this needs a button. The zipper needs replaced. Like, not little things like that. I actually made a thing. So that's my hope anyway.
One day I'll make a thing. Maybe one day I'll even repair a
Sure.
thing.
Yeah. I'm gonna start laughing now. What's next?
Yarn on the go.
My yarn didn't go too far this week. I did a lot of doctor's appointments. That's not unusual. Try to get funding and CPP disability, so it is an interesting endeavor and a lot of paperwork. So we'll see how that goes for me. I did go to my cousin's, and if I sit and think about it, he is my cousin once removed. He's a second cousin.
Sure.
Guys, my family's so small, we don't really count rings out. You're either an aunt, an uncle, a niece, a nephew, a grandparent, a parent, or a cousin. That's it. That's how it works. But if it helps you guys, my grandfather is his uncle.
Okay.
So he calls my grandpa Harvey Uncle Harvey. So it can get interesting when we're talking because I'll say Grandpa Harvey, and when he replies, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, I was talking with Uncle Harvey." Makes complete sense to us. Has to be kind of confusing to other people. It doesn't help that his first name is Ian, my father's name is Ian, and we both have, in his case, a grandfather, in my case, a cousin, named Ian.
Oh my gosh.
All the same last name.
That's too much. It's too much.
There's a lot of Ian going on in my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, his mom's name is Barb, so is my mom's name, so that's always fun.
Oh, that's great. Love it.
Uh-huh.
That's
They
like the
have to
number
have
of
separate
Chris and Bills in
ringtones.
my life.
There's a lot. You have a lot, dear.
My mom is Chris. My dad is Bill.
Uh-huh.
My mom
You're
has a
married
friend,
to Chris?
Chris. She's married to a Bill.
Yeah.
My dad's
Uh-huh.
sister's name's Chris. She married a Bill. My
Uh-huh.
husband's
You're
name is
married to a Chris.
Chris, and his dad's name is Bill.
Name is Bill. Yep.
Chris's and Bill's go
Well,
together.
well done, my dear. Well done. I think you're going to have to vote on different names for the next generation.
Yeah, I know. That's why I got my name. It was because nobody else in the family had it. There was a short list of
That works.
names, and then they look through the family tree and they're like, nope, 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 nope. Okay, it's
Nope.
this one.
Got it done. That's a good way of doing things. Which works. Everybody's got names like that. Apparently mine is Ian. What do I know? So I did that on Friday, and I worked on my endless summer adventure shawl while I was watching Convocation, because let's be honest, I don't actually see that much no matter where I am, but I hear just fine. So we sat somewhere where it wouldn't be too loud for my ears, knowing that it would be too far away for me to see. And my grandpa just sat beside me and described things that were interesting to me, like the podium and different things that were going on, just because
Not
then
that
that
much
way it
interesting
wasn't.
going on at a convocation anyway.
No, I got there when the doors opened at 8:30 because that's the side of the family that is very, very prompt about these sorts of things. I made a bunch of people nervous because I got there by myself and I was standing around waiting, so clearly I needed assistance.
Mm-hmm.
So when my grandpa called me at 8:31, my bus was on time. There was no traffic. I got there early. That never happens. I don't plan for that to happen. I plan for the bus to be running late, for there to be traffic, and there to be a problem. So I'm still on time. So I was fine, right? Whatever, no biggie. So when Grandpa showed up, I was like, yay, people will finally stop asking me where my people are. Like I need a handler to stand.
I can only imagine that's incredibly frustrating.
And you don't want to be rude because they just don't know any better. But part of you wants to go, okay, we're going to have a little educational sit down right now. We're on a university campus. Everybody should be open to the concept of learning.
In theory.
In theory. So that's fine. So I finally met up with him, but because we were seated shortly after 8:30 and absolutely no convocation on the face of the planet has ever started on time. Not a single one I've ever attended.
They never do.
They never do. So I sat down just after 8:30 in the gymnasium and I got up before 1.
Oh.
Something like 12:20, 12:30 or something. But because we were with me, I can't exit the building right away. I do have to wait till most of the crowd is gone because there's a lot of kids, there's a lot of movement, and it's easier if I wait. And one of the Ians with us had a walker. So we were like, let's just chill here in our chairs. We'll wait till everybody else putters out, and then we'll go. No biggie, right? So by the time you do that, get out, take photos, congratulate the grad, have all sorts of rounds of photos because you had all sorts of family members there. We were a party of 23. We went over to Homer's, which is University of Winnipeg, and had a Greek lunch. I would like to try that restaurant again. My only issue with the restaurant was the server, so I'd like to try again because I quite enjoyed the food.
Greek
and
food
I think
is
the problem
delicious.
with this, it is. I think the problem with the server is that even though she probably had the most experience, that's why she was given such a large group, which makes sense. She was very crusty. So I think she just doesn't like doing large groups, which that's fair. Everyone's allowed to have preferences, but it really showed, which kind of
Large
offended me.
groups suck. Speaking as someone
They're
who's had to do
hard.
large groups,
They're hard,
the
but
worst.
we're not.
Actually, no.
We
Large
come
groups
in
of
with
kids are the worst.
Oh, that's fair. There were no. Okay, like the youngest person at the table was 25, and only 4 of us were under the age of 60.
Okay.
So, really?
Old people are also, well, old people.
Hey,
Non-middle-aged people.
Non-middle.
Non-middle-aged people are the worst.
Aged people. Sure, I disagree with you on that one. But we had pre-ordered the meal, so the meal was already selected for us. The only questions we had to have asked were names, because there were a couple of plates. There was one nut allergy and my corn allergy. So there were 2 plates that were specialty restricted because of the allergies. After that, she literally only had to ask us what we wanted to have for a beverage. Everything else was predetermined. Our meals, our desserts, and everything was already paid in advance. So like that was it. That's all they had to do work-wise was question where we were sitting, and the 2 of us that had allergies stayed in our chairs because it was important for us to do so, and getting beverages. And let's be honest, when you're with senior citizens, 90% of the time they're only drinking water anyway.
And or tea.
They might have a tea or coffee at the end of the meal. That was it. That was the extent of the work that had to go in it, other than bringing plates out and taking plates back. So I'm like, the food is really good. I'd like to try the food again and hope that I get a different server and it's just a different atmosphere and she was having a bad day or something was going on, which I super understand. But I get defensive when people get snappy.
Fair enough.
Especially when you get snappy about my grandpa taking his time to decide if he wants tea or coffee. The man's almost 80. He's not going to give you a reply in less than 5 seconds. He actually needs to think about what his response is and then give it to you.
Fair enough.
And I think at 70 plus, you've earned the right to take that full 4 or 5 seconds to contemplate whether or not you would like to have tea or coffee. And the rest of us can chill for a few seconds. It's fine.
Oh, you got to do everything right now.
Right
That's
now,
what the world
like,
demands.
We're not 4. We'll make it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, chill. So I don't know. I'm hoping it was that. So I'd like to go to Homer's again and try it because I got some good vegetarian dishes and stuff. So
Nice.
however, my fixed menu meal was tasty as F. So good. I love me some good Greek food. And I couldn't finish it, which tells you how big the portion was.
Oh my goodness.
I certainly left space for dessert because it was baklava for dessert.
Ooh.
And that's messier than pancakes and syrup, people, but totally worth it.
Baklava, that's that really flaky one, right?
Yeah, it's phyllo pastry with nuts and honey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sticky, hot, flaky mess, and it's so good every time, and it's never the wrong decision. I definitely wore some honey home. Listen, it was a problem for me.
Worth it.
Yeah, red sauce with white shirts, no problem. Pancake syrup or honey drizzled anything, nope, always all over me. Ugh, sticky mess. I'm like a child. All right, that's it for me. Did you do yarn on the go?
Yeah. So,
oh, you went to the cabin.
Yeah, we were out at the lake it wasn't a long weekend, it was just a regular weekend. And actually, we didn't even go out until Saturday. But it was lovely and chill, and I got a whole 2 rows of knitting done before I was inundated with the niece and nephew because I am the favorite human.
You are the favorite human.
I think I finally figured out why I'm the favorite human.
You don't tell them to go away?
Pretty much, that's basically what it boils down to. I very rarely say no. So I figured this out as we're going on a walk, and a couple weeks ago I bought myself like a really nice leather jacket, and so I'm wearing my leather jacket like every day. And so I figured it out about the time that I was stuffing handfuls of sandy rocks into the pocket of my new leather jacket. I'm like, this is why. I don't say no.
Yep. I'm so glad you figured it out.
So I've got sand in one of the pockets of my leather jacket now. And I'm actually okay with that. So
it's got character. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Bracelets in one pocket and rocks in the other, and a child on each arm, and yeah.
Yeah. Sounds legit.
Yeah. Oh, last week was also Innovate or Die at work.
Oh, yes.
These are our hackathon days where we get 2 work days to do work that is not what you normally get to do at work, and these are paid work days that you are encouraged to use to their fullest extent, which is awesome. I love my company for that. So I joined a team that was working on making themes for our internal library component system.
Sure.
So basically, all our apps, we have like visual building blocks to build our apps out of. So if you need an input field or a message box or a certain kind of button, we have a library of components so you can just quickly build something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It is colored in the light grays and a nice pretty bright blue. And so we're like, well, this is pretty and all, but it's not accessible. What if we create a theming system so that we can have light mode and dark mode and high contrast mode, and let's throw in a large font mode for good measure? And so we did.
Always could use a large font mode.
Always. So we did that, and high contrast mode actually turned out looking really cool. Like, it ended up looking really cyberpunk because we went for blue tones.
Okay.
And so that ended up looking super cool. And it was such a popular project that we're having a meeting on Friday to see about continuing the project. And our code was a mess because we just like slapped it together in a day and a half. So we need to have a talk with the heads of this component library project in actuality, not the hackathon team. And like, okay, how do we make this code actually like conform to standards so that it can actually get rolled into the library and be usable
Useful.
by the entire company?
Yeah.
So that
No, I think that's really good.
yeah. So ideally, in a couple of months or whatever, all of our apps will have a little drop-down menu that you can select your color theme.
Woohoo!
So, but this is related to knitting because after you've spent 2 days working on your thing, you've got to present your thing. So we had 2 hours of presentations, which was 2 hours of knitting time. Yay!
Uh-huh.
Well, 2 hours less my presentation time.
That's fair.
Oh, and for extra fun, I got the great honor of having the final words of wisdom before we kicked off the Innovator Die Days.
Oh yeah, how'd that go for you? What were your words of wisdom?
I went for the hypest innovation tips I could think of.
Oh dear.
Take chances, make mistakes, get messy. And I had a slide with Ms. Frizzle.
Wow.
Yeah. You know
The
what?
cheese quota on that. Oh boy.
300 people applauded me, okay? I
Oh,
was
boy.
happy. I love my company. They humor me and let me do shit like that. I mean, stuff like that. You didn't hear that.
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Move along, move along.
Oh, I mean, I love how supportive they are. I'm going to make fun of you for the
Oh,
cheese
absolutely.
quota
It
in
is
that
worthy.
one, because oh
That is
man.
exceptionally nerdy, and the fact that people didn't outright groan and in
Oh.
fact thought it was kind of cool that I'd done that. I did my best
Yep.
Miss Frizzle impression in front of my entire company, and I got applause.
Yep. Something about you that's a little off, my dear. A little off.
Hey, you know what? People at work think I'm cool. They tell me to my face that they think I'm cool. I think they're nuts for thinking that I'm cool, but hey, in my little corner of the tech world, I am a cool person. So there.
All right.
Which I feel like that's
Alright.
equivalent of my mom says I'm special. But you know what? It's okay. I'm okay with this.
My mom says I'm rectangle. I don't know.
Sure? Special snowflake rectangle? I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this.
She was using it in references to the width of my shoulders to my hips being the same diameter. So that in her mind, when she looks at me, if she's not focusing, she doesn't see very well. She just sort of sees a loud rectangle shape.
A loud rectangle.
She's not wrong. I'm loud. Like, nowhere would the words soft-spoken be used in reference to me.
No, that is not a term I would use to describe you.
This is not who I am, and I'm comfortable with my personality traits, so it's fine. But yes, those are words my mom used. That's okay. I go, well, yeah, you're the short voice that's usually picking up boys my age. And my mom's like, that's true.
That is true.
She likes to creep them out. It brings her joy.
Your mom
Poor
is fun.
boys. My mom's a delight. All right. I suppose that leaves us with wool gathering and events. No, literature and events.
Yeah. So wool gathering.
Literature. Not a ton. We totally dropped the ball on the spring garment craft along and never actually opened the FO thread.
No, we did not. So that should be up by the time this goes live.
That's both of us. We dropped the ball on that part.
We totally did. So
Because
that's definitely still a thing.
do that. We were supposed to do that before I went to Saskatoon.
Awesome.
Wow, we're stunningly brilliant human beings. We've got paper to prove it.
Yeah, we do. I have a
we
paper
both have
very much
pieces of paper.
like that one in the corner there. If you're a viewer, it's not that one precisely, but it's very much like that one. It says I'm smart about machines.
Yeah, I've got one that says I'm smart enough to get a degree from university, but I can't figure out an FO thread start. So sure, let's go with that.
Yay!
Hey, I spent 4 weeks trying to figure out why I couldn't hit the reply button on my computer for some messages and stuff. So I haven't been really able to reply to anything on Ravelry since I got home. And I finally figured out what it is that I had done, and it wasn't technically me. It was my ability to break things in the machine.
Oh, wow.
So it's fixed. I can reply to, we're not even going to talk about how many things going on right now in the Ravelry threads. So everyone's about to get spammed by me with apologies because I just, I'm not good at it to start with. And when I have troubles, it makes it even worse. So we're sending out our apologies for that. I'm going to leave the thread open till the end of the month, even though technically we're done on the 21st.
Seems reasonable.
To just account for the fact that some people don't live on Ravelry, so they should get a whole extra week, which is like technically the 28th, and then we'll poll on the 30th. We'll poll for rewards on the 30th, so everybody will have the announcement the first week of July as to the winners. So, hence why I'm sewing next week a bag because I've got yarn. So I pulled out from my stash because the ordered yarn has not come in yet, though it is tracking. It's on the way somewhere between here and Alberta as of the last time I checked. I'm generally left in charge of picking prize yarn. Diana hasn't had a problem with it yet, so it'll probably stay that way.
Pretty hard to go wrong with prize yarn.
Find something pretty and squishy.
Yeah.
I was so in love with the Black Cat custom yarns. I'll hold up the tag band here. That I ordered in a second skein of the Everyday Sock Mayor of Titty City as the prize yarn for the spring garment craft along. It is a fingering weight skein.
It's so bright. It's even brighter than I remember.
It is. It's not obnoxiously loud because it's not highlighter colors, but it goes from this beautiful sort of pale sunny yellow into deep red sunset purple colors. So in my mind, it screams summer. Because you got like strawberry reds and raspberry reds, plum reds, if you wanted to go with a fruit analogy.
Sangria at sunset or something.
You know what? Yeah, that's definitely into the color ranges that you've got. So it's really pretty. I'm holding up my personal skein because ours is still on the way to me. So I'm going to take my personal skein and I'm going to pair it up with some nice fabric in my fabric collection. I've got a freaking room full of it, and make a quick bag for everybody. So that will be should be ready for showing off on the 30th when we record and pull names. I'll have it by then. It'll have come in, so I'm not super worried about that. So done that. And I think that's pretty much it for Wool Gathering.
Oh,
want to talk some books?
Across the Prairies is the next thing coming up.
Yes, it is. It's coming up in events, and it's coming up on the 1st. Have you guys picked your patterns?
I picked mine.
You picked yours? As much as Jamie would love to have all of us be from Alberta, Jamie from Cozy Up Knits, who is one of the 4 sisters, who is one of the other podcasters we're running the Across the Prairies with, loves to think we're all in Alberta. I'm not sure why, but sure, that works for me. All of us this year, too. not just you and me. Tale of 2 knitters as well, who are also Manitoban. Now, Feathered Stitches and Cozy Up Knits, which are the other 2 podcasts, are actually in Alberta. Just fine. I find it amusing. I do it all the time too. I'm especially if it's people stateside. I can't. I cannot for the life of me keep it straight in my head. I'm just the worst. Anyway, I distracted Diana. She was going to talk about her kit that she picked up.
So this is starting on July the 1st, yes?
It is. Our cast on day is Canada Day.
Canada Day, July the 1st. Cast on your thing. Any Stephen West shawl, yes?
Any Stephen West.
Whips welcome, as long as they're less than 50%.
Bingo, bingo, bongo.
I remember all the things, which is why I'm going to start fresh a 5 skein shawl.
I'm seriously opening that bloody thread on bets on whether or not you make these things. I have to start a thread. I've got to stop putting it off. My ball bands are out of my reach. I'm going to have to guess on the names for mine.
I'm going to be doing the Moherino medley by Stephen West, the kit for which I bought at Stephen and Penelope when I was in Amsterdam last month. Because if I don't make this for this reason, I don't know what other reason. Wow, that is so loud. There's a siren going by outside, and I'm sorry! I'm so sorry!
It's alright, I'm rolling out a frame for a second.
It's so loud.
Is it done being loud on us?
Not quite. It's still going.
Well, have you heard the new thwompers that they've got going on some of the emergency vehicles now?
I saw an article about them, but I haven't actually heard them.
Oh my word.
They're very alarming, I hear.
Well, they're going to do their job, and they're going to do their job effectively. And the reason we need them to do their job effectively is because apparently people don't know how to pay attention. It vibrates so hard, I can feel it on the sidewalk as they're passing through.
Ooh, that's intense.
They're intense. Like, I'm like, okay, people, y'all just need to learn to pay attention because this is excessive and it just shows how daft we all are.
Wow.
That they needed to go to that level of sort of sensory perception to pay attention. Like, oof. That says such not good things about the rest of us.
Wow.
And I, of course, stand on the sidewalk and scream right back at them that they're too loud because it is so loud to my poor ears. Poor ears. Just get the snot kicked out of them. And I can't even say don't do it because they need to do it. They need to be able to get to places and quickly. And quite frankly, their schedules matter more than ours.
Fair.
All right.
There's another siren. I love living on a main road near a fire station. It's great.
You picked
I
your
love
apartment.
having a window air conditioner that necessitates having the window slightly open so that we get all of this lovely noise.
So what you're saying is you'll be house hunting soon?
Might be house hunting in Waterloo, so, we'll see.
It's possible. You'll have to let us know how that goes. So, for my shawl for the Stephen West knit along, because we're doing shawls, we know somebody doing a poncho.
I mean, this thing is going to basically be a poncho wrap giant. It's 5 skeins. It's going to be giant.
You're going to have to haul butt, my dear, to do that in 3 months.
Mm-hmm. I'm hoping it's really, really super fun, which I think it will be, so.
I've always enjoyed Stephen West knits. They've always been delightful so far. I decided to use some Undercover Otter, which are the 2 skeins Diana brought home from the Europes for me. They are Halloween colored. So we have a nice, beautiful pumpkin orange themed one going on. It goes through a whole bunch of different tones of orange called Jack-o'-lantern, I think. I don't know why I'm trying to read the ball band tags, guys, but we're giving it a shot.
Sounds right. It had a Halloween-y name.
They both have Halloween-y names, which makes sense. Yeah, Hack-o'-lantern. Hack-o'-lantern.
Ah, okay.
And then a traditionally colored black Walmart purple orange skein.
They were sitting there on the wall, and I'm like, Jocelyn needs these.
Super. And they're sock bases, so I could have made socks out of them. But my mom pointed out to me, I don't have a Halloween shawl yet. Light bulb moment. So that decided my first 2 colors. So we were looking on Ravelry. These classically Halloween-themed colored is called the Witchy Business. I super like. And they are going to make up 2 of the 3 skeins that I need for the Doodler. Doodler!
I know I just looked up what that shawl was, and I don't remember what it looked like. I am apparently incapable of remembering what the shawl looks like.
But you have a piece of paper that says you're very smart.
Some things I just cannot retain for some reason. This is one of them.
That's fair. I'm going to use some of my Midnight Craving stash in the colorway Smoke and Mirrors, which is a nice gray base, to make up my middle color. So I'm going to start with my Hack-o'-lantern at the top, which will go into the gray, which is the main body, and then my edging detail will be in Witchy Business. Now, each of these uses a minimum of 350 yards, which tells you how big this shawl is going to be. I'm over 1,000 yards to finish the shawl.
That's massive.
Which you're like, Jocelyn, that's huge. And you're right, it is. The Doodler is a crescent-shaped shawl, so it's got, in my case, it'll have the orange on the top, and I haven't bought the pattern yet, so I haven't read anything. But you know what? I'm buying it tonight. So then the orange will be at the top, and then the orange kind of feeds into the gray in like spine-shaped details, and then the gray's got a pattern in it, and then there's a pattern in the bottom edging, which I'm going to do in the Witchy Business, which is a variegated yarn for that pop of color at the bottom. So happy!
It's going to be quite the shawl. I'm excited to see this.
I'm so pumped. I love my exploration station. It took me a while to narrow it down to the Doodler, but I quite like it. My mom likes the Moherino medley too, but we both like it in those colors. So if I ever do one, it would be in Stephen West's colors because I just really like the colors he
I'm
picked.
so excited to work with this yarn. It's just it's just merino, but it's single ply and it's so freaking soft. I'm so
Uh-huh.
excited to just pet
Uh-huh.
it and love it and call it
Uh-huh.
George.
George?
What am I referencing there with that? I don't even know. I'm
It's,
gonna love it and pet it and call it George.
George. It's
Somebody
gonna
tell
be
me what
my
I'm
friend.
referencing because I don't actually know.
Is that Looney Tunes?
Maybe. I really don't know.
Jocelyn's memory is faulty. She's not entirely sure. That's fine. It'll either come to us or the internet will tell us. Oh, the internet wanted you to know that should you have purchased your stuff in Europe the first time on your credit card, you might be able to get a refund for it.
Ooh.
Because you will have the police report that indicated that it has stolen. And I said
That's
that hadn't
smart.
occurred to me, but I would pass that information along.
That's so smart. I
And
honestly don't remember.
I wasn't with you, I can't tell you.
Which card did I use? I'm gonna have to figure that out after.
There you go. Now you have your homework for the week.
Ah.
All right. Shall we move to literature and then Jocelyn's favorite time of day, make fun of Diana for not completing things in the events section?
Yes.
Excellent. You did some books.
Yes, I have 3 books. So there,
Okay.
I complete some things. I finished reading Machine of Death, which is a collection of short stories set in a universe where there is a machine that can tell you how you're going to die from a single drop of blood. Not when, not where, and it delights in being ironic. So, for
Sure, why
example,
not?
if it gives you the card Old Age, it could be that you just live to a very old age and die in your sleep. It could also mean that you get run down by a senior citizen driving an SUV.
I like that example. It's a good one.
So,
I remember the examples from the last time you mentioned the book.
it's a very interesting collection of stories. Some of them are funny, some of them are like really deep psychological things. Some of them are just one of them was outright sad and I was crying. So I had a lot of feels reading that book. So if it sounds like an interesting sort of thing to you, it was a very interesting read. I must say.
It was on your list?
Yeah, I read that one for the work book club.
Is that this month or last month?
That is actually still the current book. We haven't picked our new book yet, so I'm so I'm so on top of things.
You were totally doing all the things.
So since I'd finished...
Please note, in about 10 minutes, we're laughing at her.
Oh, yeah. So then I picked up another book that I was mostly done, which is the 5th book in the Expanse series, Nemesis Games, and I finished that one!
Excellent.
And in typical Expanse fashion, world-changing events occurred.
Yeah.
And upped the ante for the next book. Somehow, every time for 5 books. And there's 8 of these books. How did they keep upping the ante? The world that this book is in, the world that the 6th book is starting in, is so completely different from the world that the first book was set in, but also like 10 or 15 years have passed, and like this is an epic series of sci-fi.
I'm gonna say it. It's a soap opera.
It is. It is. It is Game of Thrones level political intrigue and action in space with much less sex.
Sure.
And the TV show is also incredibly well done.
I haven't either read or watched the TV show, but you know how bad I am about getting around to watching TV shows.
Yeah, well, I highly recommend both.
Excellent.
So I'm now on to the 6th book in the series, which is Babylon's Ashes.
Ta-da!
Highly recommend The Expanse if you're into space. Fiction. Space fiction? Science fiction!
Space fiction?
Sorry, I was going for space opera, but I stopped halfway through, and then I tried to salvage it with science fiction, but that really didn't work.
Note! You need to make a note in your show notes. Episode title, Space Fiction.
You know what? That's not even untrue. It is fiction that occurs in space. It is space fiction.
It's still accurate.
It is.
I'm forever now. It's like I'll be like, well, I'm buying some space fiction, Diana. Do you agree with me?
It is space fiction. I enjoy space fiction. Leave me alone.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh my goodness. For myself, I am still making my way through the Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm about 2/3 of the way done the book on Audible. I'm already going to go with love it, read it, download it, listen to it, however you prefer to get your books. It is absolutely, like, if you're one of those people who reads the book and you're like, I know where this is going, and this is boring, and this is not the Priory of the Orange Tree. You don't even know who the main character is till you're like 3 or 4 chapters in. It's massive. So the world's big. They drop you right in the middle. They explain it as they go along, and it's not written from a standard European Western culture perspective.
These are all words that I like.
This is delightful, and it's told from a mostly feminine perspective. There are some male characters, because it is obviously a large group ensemble sort of character cast. And I love me some high political fantasy. I've always been a fan of them. So, needless to say, super stoked to be reading it. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It is so good, and I'm listening to it, so I have it on Audible because by the time I'm done the end of my day, my ability to focus on print is non-existent. So it's harder for me to get through print books if they're not stuff I'm doing for work. So super excited by that. I have nosedived back into the Darker Shade of Magic series, and there's a reason for it. Not just because I super really enjoy and love the series, because I super really enjoy and love the series. But a friend of mine who lives in Ontario, who happens to be a female DM, also super loves the series. There's a small collection of us, I think about 4 or 5 of us, and we all play tabletop role-playing games. So guess what we're creating? A tabletop role-playing game set in the world of Darker Shades of Magic.
That's cool.
Necessitating my reread of it. Listen, I'm going to do with air quotes, folks, because the volume of notes I'm currently taking would do any university class proud, because we don't want to get the background wrong. We've sent off inquiries to the author and the publisher and stuff. Like, we'd like to make it as official as possible. So I am knee-deep in helping create a role-playing game. I am head-deep in a Monty Cook who is strange to start with, and we're learning that campaign system. And I've played tabletop role-playing games for a very long time now.
This one's dense.
This one is dense, and I am rarely confused about these sorts of things. So there's a lot going on in my brain right now. But I know I want to pick up a book by the end of the week here, because I read the summary for it, the sampler, on Kindle, and it is Religion and the Decline of Magic. Studies in Popular Belief Systems. I wonder.
The Decline of Magic. Added to the notes. These will all be linked in the show notes.
Yep. And it's really, the sampler was amazing. And I think it says by Keith Thomas. My font's really large, so it cuts words off halfway. So I'm going with Keith Thomas because most of the words look like that. I get half the letters, and I get the top half of the letters. So I think that's who the author is. But it declined that I got the first half. That one I actually got recommended to me via Twitter, via another DM who's a dungeon master.
I dropped a stitch.
Don't drop stitches.
No, it's okay. I'm fixing it.
So, just in case you thought all I read was romance, no, I do read other things as well.
It's important to have a well-rounded book diet.
One of the books I recommended, Unmentionables, The Victorian Lady's Guide to Sex, Love, and Marriage.
Mm-hmm.
The unofficial official intern is reading, and she is loving it.
I do want to get around to that one. I've recommended it for the book club.
Oh, so snarky and delightful. So snarky and delightful. All right, that's it for me for books for the moment that I can talk about anyway.
All right, that just leaves us with events then.
Oh, it's back to making fun of Diana, my favorite time of day.
So the Across the Prairies craft along, or not the
Nope.
Across the Prairies, sorry, the Spring Cotton which is a knit along.
Spring garment craft along.
Fuck. I'm sorry. My
You
brain
guys,
is
it's
so
late.
shot today.
Which is a knit along craft along. We've been hosting with Laura from the corner of Knit and Tea. She is a lovely podcaster, YouTuber, like we are. And we've been doing, if you sewn it, crocheted it, knit it, it's a spring garment, it's adult sized, it counts. She is far more on top of things than we are because we did not open up our FO thread like we were supposed to.
Oops.
Failure. Okay. It technically wraps up on the 21st of this month. I am going to purposely leave the FO thread open for an additional week because I know not everybody lives on Ravelry. We have lives, and this is my way of saying, wow, guys, totally dropped the ball on that one.
We'll leave it open for a good long time so you can, well, maybe not a long time, but
an extra week
yeah.
Because Diana might magically start her project.
Yeah, you know how this thing is done in 2 days? Like probably when you're listening or watching this or listening to this right now. My English is dying.
Hey, you will have it edited and ready to go before you're home tomorrow.
This is true because I'll be home late tomorrow because I have yet more D&D. Anyway, my point being, where I'm going with this very long sentence, is that this thing is over in, 2 days?
Yep.
This is a new level of low for alongs for me, in that I haven't started. Not only have I not finished, but I have not started.
I love you very much. You are a delightful hot mess sometimes. You knew it was coming. You agreed to it. I even found a project that would be easy for you.
It was one that I was planning to do anyway. Have I done
did all the things.
Anything? Not a thing. And I can't tomorrow because D&D and gotta get the podcast up, and I can't on Friday because it's Knit Club. And then, oh, hey, look, that's the last day.
Yep. Well done, my dear. Well done.
So there's a new low.
Stay tuned tomorrow when Dawson starts the Ravelry thread. No, seriously. We're taking bets. Will Diana finish her?
Oh, this one you can take bets on whether I'll start.
Yeah. This is the first time you haven't started it. You've always started it, but you don't really finish on time.
I know,
which
this
is
was
fine.
a knit along too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Finish things. Psh, starting things.
And here I'm sitting going, we like a lot of the same colors. We should talk about doing the Besties for Life shawl from Cozy Up Knits.
That's never going to get finished.
I know.
If you're talking to me, it's just not going to get finished.
I know. Part of me wants to go, okay, find 2 skeins you like, bring it over. I'm going to take 2 skeins I like, and I'll just make us these shawls to wear. Because then they'll get done. I will charge you the cost of the pattern.
Maybe. It's probably faster.
Oh, heavens. It's a cute little pattern, so. I did, it's just yes, my dear. I mean, now it would be a super. Now, noting, guys, we're recording Wednesday night. We're going to be recording on Sunday. So theoretically, I don't have a ton of content.
Between Wednesday night and Sunday afternoon?
Yes.
You're still going to somehow manage to blow me out of the water because you always do. That's how this goes. I know my role here. I am the support role. I understand.
Listen, a lot of my life is listening to stuff, and my screen reader is very slow. So I have a lot of downtime. Why wouldn't I knit? Otherwise, I'm going to fall asleep. Or very boring legal documents. I will pass out. Because they're not written in Old English, I don't find them amusing.
Stuff on my desk.
All right. Other events is we've got a new knit along starting on the 1st of July, which is Canada Day for us here up in the Great White North. It is Jamie called it the second anniversary of the Across the Prairies Cal. I'm going to call it the second edition Across the Prairies Cal because books, and I like to be different on nitpicky little details that don't matter in the slightest. We're doing this one the same as we did last year in conjunction with 3 other podcasters. So we are 4 podcasters that stretch across the prairies. Us, A Tale of Two Knitters, also located here in Manitoba. One of the A Tale of Two Knitters is in Brandon, and the other one is in Gimli. And then we have the wonderful ladies out in Alberta, Feathered Stitches, which are a pair of wonderful moms out in, I want to say, Airdrie. Could be wrong on the town. Please feel free to yell at me if I'm incorrect. And of course, the 4 sisters from Cozy Up Knits out in Grande Prairie, Alberta. Yes, that was just to see if I could show Jamie up. I doubt she watches. It's fine. So we have picked our shawls and our patterns. Sarah has been waiting for 2 months for the start of this cal, so she is ready to go.
Wow, it's gonna be done in a week.
The twins are debating on, well, possibly 2. I think she's picked a big project. It's Sarah, guys. She finished the textured time shawl mystery knit along on time. And then she turned it into a poncho, like a cardigan shrug thing. The girl's got talent.
I don't be over here now.
I don't remember. It's the same for me. I don't remember what it is Jamie said that she was going to do, or she said what she was going to do. But any Stephen West pattern counts. Whips are welcome, less than 50%. As usual, adult-sized, because there is definitely a significant difference between knitting for a wee person and knitting for a full-grown person. It's just to sort of help balance that out as much as we can. Otherwise, start throwing in your photos and your hashtags and your threads. I will probably also open up the Cheddar thread for that early, just so we can start talking about it. And get prepped and ready to go. And we'll see everybody on Canada Day. It'll be on the Instagram stories, because I don't know if we're spending Canada Day together or not this year.
I don't know if I will be here or at the lake or out visiting my parents or what.
Yes,
I will be in an undetermined location. Undetermined.
You were
I'm gonna
a nebulous location.
Mm-hmm.
We're done. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
We've checked out.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long weekend. My parents may or may not come, so I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if Dad knows what he's doing. I don't know if anybody knows what they're doing. This is how my life works. My parents show up and I lose a weekend. They pick the weekends. I just go, okay, and I rearrange things. If not, it'll be me, Canada Day, my brother-in-law, some barbecue in a backyard. That works fine for me. If it's sunny outside, I'll be inside. If it's cloudy outside, I'll be outside for a bit, so long as it's not over 28 degrees, because that's too hot.
Fair. It was nice today.
Today was like 26, so it was.
If you're in the shade,
wasn't too bad.
And the breeze was nice.
Wind, the breeze was nice today, so that's fine. Other than that, we do not have a ton of things going on, she says, then proceeds to list a bunch of things. There is theoretically a pop-up Little Britain fiber event happening on July the 27th for us next month.
Let me write that down.
For anybody keeping track, that also happens to be the weekend of Icon. So we'll see how that goes for me and Diana.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe we'll be at Icon.
I think we can take the morning off and go out, or the afternoon off. We'll have to take a look at the scheduling programming and find out when that blunk of time is when we're like, it's good, but we're not interested. And I think just bite the bullet and split the cost to park the car in the parkade for the day so we can pop out and back again.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that might be the best way to do it.
Parkade's not even that bad anyway.
No, it's not. For like a day, it's fine. And we're already like halfway there from the convention center to Lockport anyway.
Yeah. It's what, half
an
hour?
We can just take a Main. Yeah, we can take a Main straight out. Yeah.
Get on Main Street. Go north. Stop when you reach Lockport.
Lockport. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fine. So we have that coming up in July. We don't have anything in August. In September, we will have the Manitoba Fiber Festival. I did not write down what weekend that is, so I don't know yet. And then in October, we have Knit City. Diana's still not sure if she can attend, but we're hoping she can. She's got to get through DEF CON and B-Side.
Yeah, B-Sides and DEF CON. I got to see what holidays I have left. And also, I need to have some wisdom teeth out, so that's going to eat up some time.
Yep, yep.
So
And I
we'll see.
recommend doing
We'll
that
see.
after, because I think B-Side and DEF CON is in July, isn't it?
August.
August?
The very
Okay, in which
beginning of
case,
August.
yeah.
Yeah.
You might be able to do it in July, depending. Yeah, you need to check, my dear. I'd give yourself a couple of weeks to heal easily.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Easy peasy. I didn't swell too bad, but man, I bruised hard when I had my wisdom teeth removed. Like I looked like I'd gotten on the wrong end of a street fight. Like it was.
Did you win?
Nope, I looked like I'd lost from my just. I ate fine. I was a little sore, like I didn't have, but my coloration was pretty. Physically, it was like 2 or 3 days. I was back to regular food. It wasn't a problem, other than like the stitches popping, which just felt weird because they're dissolvable stitches.
God, it's
So
such
you'd
a
hear the
weird feeling.
ping in your mouth, and you'd be like, "That's odd. It doesn't hurt. It's just odd." But yeah, I looked pretty for at least a week and a half, and I, of course, had it done, and then less than 4 days later, had to take my grade 12 school photos.
Perfect.
The timing was excellent. Oh my gosh.
Other things that are going on. Stash Dash
Mhm.
is an ongoing thing.
It is. It runs till the 24th of August.
I finished a thing. Watch that be the only thing that I finish.
I'm going to hold out hope that you finish more this year.
Hey, that's a
I'm
whole
holding out
500
hope.
meters. Well,
I'm holding out hope.
492.
Holding out hope, people. I'm holding out hope.
I guess it's about 480 because I didn't quite finish this game.
You did a kilometer last summer. I'm holding out hope you can get to a kilometer again this summer. I'm praying for you, man.
If I finish anything else, I'll make the kilometer.
That's fair. It is hosted and run by the lovely Knit Girls, who is a YouTubing podcaster who've been doing it for like 9 years almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it'll be 9 years next year for them.
They're far more profesh than us.
Well, they enjoy it and it's good, and they do a really good job. I really enjoy their episodes. It's gonna finish on the 24th of August because Laura is off of school from the 24th of May till sometime in August, and then she just ran it a bit extra so that the end day was like Pearl's come home day. It was like Pearl's birthday, her puppy. So that's going on. All of the rules and stuff are all in there. I think it's just easier if we link to the Ravelry page for that because then you can see all the rules and stuff. If you've participated before, you know what's going on. If you haven't, no big worries. Tour de Fleece is going to start on the 6th of July. Diana, you ready?
No.
It runs till the 27th? 20th? No, 19th.
I wrote down the dates at one point and I've utterly lost the page.
6th to 19th? I think it's 6th to 19th.
It'll be in the show notes. Same as the Tour de France.
Guys, I wrote it down. I can't read my own calendar, and I got a big person calendar. It's huge. So it runs next month. I literally tonight just ordered from the Woolery my repair kit for my spinning wheel, and it's oiled and prepped and ready to go. So I'm going to use the Tour de Fleece to finally stop practice treadling on my wheel and actually spin on my wheel.
Gasp! Is that allowed?
So that is my goal for Tour de Fleece. Since I'm not participating officially in any group, I'm going to go with yes. Yes, it is.
I'm going to go for spin for at least 5 minutes every day. It's a very modest goal.
Well, I really like the night shift shawl. And I'm loving the people who've done it up out of their own hand spun. And it's a bulkier spin, so I think that's what I'm going to do, is because I can still spin it like that worsted bulky relatively easily, is I'm going to aim to have my spinning, once it's plied, to be in that worsted weight range, and then make my night shift out of my own hand spun.
That'd be gorgeous.
So I'm going to start with the braids that I have, and then that means I have a reason and a purpose to buy braids when I'm at the Manitoba Fiber Festival, because there is an end goal in mind for it.
I have so much fiber. I'm just going to dig out some fiber and spin it. Whatever I grab.
You have more fiber than I do, so.
Do I?
I think so. I only have 3 braids.
I think I have 3 braids, but then I have that bag of yeah.
You're ahead of me for the moment.
I have a little bit more fiber than you.
For the moment, till September, and then that'll change, as it always does. So those are the big things. I don't think we forgot anything. Did we? Oh, the knitting bingo challenge going on this year.
Oh yeah, that's still a thing. I found mine when I cleaned up my desk right before we started because I had this like stack of it was honestly I had a stack of boxes like taller than me when I was sitting down and it was going to fall over while we were recording, so I had to clean that up real quick.
You are crazy, lady.
But
I
yeah.
checked off 2 more boxes on my knitting challenge. If you guys watch us on Instagram stories, you would have watched me do my X's
I'm gonna
and
do mine right now.
mark down what's going on. When I finish this cardigan, the Mallow cardigan, that's another box. Hence why I'm like, hey, I right now remember what boxes I've written for my knitting challenge. What I should do is a crochet challenge for myself too. Like the knitting bingo challenge only for crochet
Hey,
projects.
I've almost finished a spinning project too. Oh, look at me
Yeah, I know.
go.
I know I've got spinning project on
I
mine,
literally
so
just need to like wind it off the bobbin that it's still on.
oh jeez. You're so close it hurts.
I know.
Crazy lady. So if you guys are joining us for that, that's just a fun challenge yourself for the gear sort of project that we're doing. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's nice. It's relaxed. I'm taking to it a lot better than I did the year of the sock? Question mark. And about as well as I took to the teach myself to crochet with the 365 days of crochet squares challenge, which worked out excellently for me the year before.
Mhm.
Oh, the crochet crowd. You're gonna have to link them. They're a YouTuber. Are doing a summer Afghan knit along
Ooh.
or knit along crochet along. They're the crochet corner. It's a crochet along, but they've done it with varying textures and stuff. And their inspiration comes from the levels of Earth. So when you're done, you have this huge hexagonal blanket that sort of starts at the core of Earth and like works its way up in textures to the surface.
Fascinating. I might have to go look this up.
Super tempted to do that. I don't have time to add another Afghan to my pile. Might do it anyway because I really enjoy the look of it when it's finished. And all the test knitters they had when they were running through the pattern chose different color orientations. So one of them did a grayscale one.
Oh, that must look so
Freaking
cool.
stunning. It's so pretty. Like all the color, even the bright color, bold colors, they just look so good. So I'm like, so if you guys see me doing that in a couple of weeks.
I'd also like to point out that I find their videos just like really chill to watch. So even if I have no intention of making what's ever in the video, sometimes I just watch it when I can't sleep because it's just so chill.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Love it.
yeah. I love it. So good. So those are my random thoughts at the end of the podcast that I always end up throwing in on people. Otherwise, I'm good. Are you good?
I think I'm good.
All right. So I'll say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you, don't forget to knit.
Don't forget to knit. I figured
Yep.
I just wouldn't even try to do it on time because it doesn't.
It's a no-go.